it would be the same thing if you made both the arrows go the same direction. So 2C wants to figure out from, what was it? The point.
Between 1.14 and then 1.98.
98. Okay. So this area here. So I can look at 1.98, and that's too much, correct?
Yes.
So if I just subtract this much off, I get exactly what I need, correct? That's it.
Okay.
Some students get the other side for some reason. So real quick, help me out. What do you get when you look up 1.98 in the z-score chart? Oh yeah. Huh? When you look up 1.98. 0.9 761. Okay. And 0.14.
Didn't do that for the one second.
Anybody could tell me.
5.7.
I don't-
Oh, I did. Oh, you're looking at the answer? Oh, no, just that. Yeah, 0.5557.
It makes sense because it's more than 50, there should be more than half below. So in that respect, it makes sense. If I just subtract these two, I'll be left with that. Now, so real quick, so 0.9761 minus 0.5557 is something.
Is
4204?
Yeah.
All right, that's done very quickly. Just because this happens a lot. That is done, correct? That problem is done, and yet I'm going to do something else.
You could do it the other way.
Do not do this, but this is how this would work. If there's 9761 that way, how much is this way?
Whatever.
0.0238. Try it again. 9. And what's this way? 4443. What is 0.4443 minus 0.0239?
I assume it's the same answer as that one.
Never assume. Yes, it is. Yeah. Because both of them have like too much, subtract off, I get them out in the middle. But if you take one of these arrows and one of these arrows, they don't have shit to do with each other. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so dear God, don't do that. Don't. Just do this. Because that's exactly what the z-squared chart tells me. I just need too much by how much? Exactly by this much, so that I subtract to get just the part in the middle. Okay, I like it. But I did want to show you, if you did do that, you could go all the way. Yeah. So let's do this. Let's create the formula sheet. So again, if you want to, you can just add it to old formula sheets, or you make its own distinct formula sheet. On the day of the final, you can bring all your formula sheets. You can have scrolls. Okay, as long as you don't distract other people, you can have like these big old thing.
We haven't gotten some of the sheets back for the stations for the test, so unless we made multiple.
No, we didn't.
It would have been attached
They're-
here.
Yeah, of course I gave it the test back.
Oh,
They're handed.
I'll have to go look.
Yeah, I don't like to keep those.
This would be a blank separate sheet, right?
What?
Just a
No,
blank-
like I said, yeah, make sure that whatever you put them on, if you add them to the old formula sheet, make sure you didn't lose any points on that old formula sheet. How do you lose points on a formula sheet?
Having too much.
You have stuff on there I didn't say you could. Yeah, yes?
On that reading quiz, cause it was the, like, double quiz, can I do corrections on that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I didn't know if it was a remake.
No, you're fine. You can correct everything in here except the final, the appropriately named final, yes. All right, so here will be the formula sheet. You can only have these. I'm gonna plop up your formulas. I'm gonna ask you for suggestions if you want more formulas. I'm gonna shoot most of those down. There have been times people said something, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So feel free to let me know if you think I forgot something. You guys good? Okay. So we start with chapter 4. And chapter 4, of course, is where we have the x, p of x business. I like this marker. So that's the mean if I give you an x, p of x table, right?
Oh, I can't label that chapter 4, I think.
Nope. Stop. And I don't know how you guys wanna write this, I'm just gonna write it like this. So very quickly, if I make a table x, p of x, and then I make a third column, x times p of x, when I add that column, that's exactly what the hell this says, correct? Add up all the x p of x's. So what column do I need for this guy?
L1 times L3.
I need specifically an x squared p of x column, correct?
Second? No.
Say again?
Can we do the fourth column?
Yeah, I need another column, a fourth column, right? And then when I add those up, I subtract the square of the mean, take a square root, that's the standard deviation. Okay. So obviously we'll do an example like that, so on the practice test. Okay. So that was the first part of chapter 4, 4.1, 4.2. 4.3 got into this business. What is this business?
Sample selection, the NCR.
By the way, this creature is a Q. My horrible writing.
Oh, success and failure based on.
Yeah, so it's a binomial probability, right? So if you want to, I don't mind if you make little boxes, it's fine, right? So then what's the mean for a binomial? It's the best mean ever.
NP?
NP. Standard deviation? That's right, kids, we're at NP. Okay. Does that look familiar to anybody? So you guys like, I'll say yes, okay. So you can box that off if you want to. Okay, so that's chapter 4. Chapter 5 was uniform stuff. No formulas. Big ass rectangle, whoop-de-doo, right? No formulas you can write down. No formulas you need. Chapter 6, we bring back this dude. That's, oh, and then we have this guy.
Z-score.
What's extra nice about that guy?
It tells you the definition of a z-score.
Yes, because remember, you already know. Let's see. You guys are gonna do it, aren't you? You guys are gonna do this.
Plus or minus.
No, this is important. You guys are gonna do this. One question that will be on the test is, what does the z-score tell you? What does the z-score tell you?
How many standard deviations from the mean to the data point?
How many standard deviations from the mean to a data point? Beautiful. You can say that in different ways, whatever. Is everybody with me? If I ask you instead, what does a z-score of 1.3 mean? That's just a little more specific, but it's the same shit. If the z-score is 1.3, that means the data point is
1.3.
1.3 standard deviations away from the mean. If you said above the mean, no extra points, but a little tier, right? Because it's positive, so it'd be above. I guess it kind of was
Right on the number one.
same shit. Everybody knows that question is going to be on the test. See if this year I get above 50% get
Wait,
right.
on Monday? Okay. On Monday or the final exam?
No, on the every test.
Oh.
Every test is going to be on every test. Yes. Okay, you guys all with me? Yes? Real quick, if I ask a question and you start to say, it tells me the area, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Where do I get the area from? The probability. I get that from the z-score chart, right?
Yeah.
Z-scores don't tell me that shit. The chart does, right? So a z-score just tells me where I am. How many standard deviations away from me to the data point, right? Okay. And like somebody said, how do we get, the z-score tells me the number of standard deviations from the mean to the data point. Okay. That basically is chapter 6. And then chapter 7 adds in this business. What's that business?
It's sample distribution of.
That's how you get your new standard deviation for sample.
Yeah.
For sample
For a group-
means.
For a group of people.
So officially, this is called the standard deviation of the sampling distribution. What all this is how spread out grouped, all groups of size n's sample means would be, right? So the standard deviation I give you is for individuals. If the question I ask is about a group of things, about the average of a group, I need how spread out groups are, not how spread out individuals are. I really hope that just makes sense. If I'm talking about picking one person, I'll compare them to all the other people. I know how they're spread out. Great. If I'm talking about picking a group and looking at its average, I have to compare that to all the other groups. All this does is it makes the individual standard deviation become a group standard deviation that would work for that situation. That's all this formula does. Okay, maybe. Yes?
Not sure if you'll do a trick question where you give us a sample that's below 30 or 30 exactly, to where we can't use that because it's not.
I would never, so listen, this is important. It would be so evil if I gave you a problem where if you don't realize you can't do it, you wasted all this time doing it. And then I'm like, you couldn't do it because the sample size was too small. I'm like, oh my God, that would be so evil. You would be able to kick me and I couldn't do shit about it because I would deserve it. Do you guys understand? So I might have a conceptual question where I'm just like, can you tell me what's wrong with this, or why could I do this, right?
Yeah.
Because then you're not doing work, you're just saying what's wrong, or so you have to know, right? But I'm never gonna give you a whole problem, and I'm like, you did all that work, you couldn't do any of it because the sample size is too small. So ready with me? If I don't say it's normal, and I take a sample at 15,
Can't do it.
I can't do it. Not in stats 1 anyway. Stats 2 we could, but we don't teach stats 2, damn it.
You come close though on the uniform distribution. Find P of exactly 5.
Oh, that's a uniform, who cares? Zero. Trick question. Alright, you guys okay? Alright, let me think. So 4, 5, there is none. 6, 7, and I could do this, I really didn't write this down. I don't know if this is gonna, no. Does this happen in here? Yes, it does. Alright. I almost don't want to write that down because it's the exact same formula as this. Z-scores are always the same thing. My data point minus the middle divided by the spread. Right? If I'm talking about a group of things, their average, then obviously I'm going to divide by the new standard deviation. Okay, maybe. Okay. Anybody, any other formulas you think I forgot? I'm only human. The worst thing about me is my memory, so.
Oh, what about the like X arrow, Z arrow?
Oh, that is not a formula. Good try.
Did you say it's not important or it's not?
Not a formula.
Oh, it's very important.
Very important. It's a concept. Can't write any of that shit down. Too bad. Okay. But you know what it is, right?
For that Z-score formula, it's X bar minus the mean, but
It's comforting.
instead of X bar, it's the, like in 4E, it's the two probabilities we're given, right? 4.4 and 4.7. I don't know if those are considered data.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
That's what goes there.
We'll do that. I'm actually gonna do that one together with you guys because
I'm almost done with it, like trying
I
to.
didn't have enough space on the answer key.
Minus mu.
Let's do this. Anybody? Has everybody got that? Does anyone have any suggestions for a formula you think I forgot? By the way, I'm not purposefully leaving something off. That'll be so evil too. Nobody said to that. Okay. Alright. So I'm gonna do, let's look at number 4 on the practice test. Because I didn't do 4E.
Wait, what are we doing?
We're gonna do number 4 on the practice test. Because I didn't finish 4E on the answer key.
Wait, have you passed out the answer key?
No, I haven't. Alright, so everybody got all that? Okay.
Oh wait.
That's funny, Marcella, because there was this one, she would always get me. I'd be racing, wait just and then I got to point mine too damn wake up.
I would do that too. You got attached.
Alright guys, number 4. Did anybody try number 4 in the practice test?
No, can we do that first?
Almost
and then
done
we
with
talk
it.
about it?
We are. But I just wanted to know if anybody tried it yet. Okay, interesting vibe in here today. So number 4, it's a uniform curve that goes from 2 to 8, right?
Wait, I don't wanna hear it.
All right, so draw that real quick for me. If you haven't done it, I'm gonna let you do it and then I'll catch up. So even if I don't say include the height, you have to include the height or else it's not a complete picture, right? So this is 2 to 8. So how tall is it gonna be?
1.6.
That's crazy. I think that's part A, right? Part B says 4.4 to 4.7.
Yeah.
Okay. So then part B, I can kind of throw this in here. Holy crap. So it's just a rectangle. It's silly. It's really, really silly. How wide is this rectangle?
130.
And how tall is it?
So 1.6.
So it'll be the width times the height. 3 divided by 6 is 0.5, so 0.3 divided by 6 is 0.05. Or you just put in the old calculator. So about a 5% chance it's between those two.
So that's chapter 5.
Yes, that's chapter 5.
That is difficult and we should be tested extensively.
Wait, that's chapter 5.
This is from chapter 5, yes.
That's it.
I wouldn't say that this is chapter 5, because there's more in chapter 5, but yes. Yes?
Are you the 1 over 6 again?
Oh, in order for this to be a valid probability, in order for a distribution to be valid, probability, all the probabilities have to add up to be 1. If they don't add up to 1, and I mean, I'm okay with 0.999, right? And 1.001, I'm okay with that, but if it's 0.95 or 1.07, either I left people out or I created people somehow quicker than normal. Are you guys with me? Okay. So visually, the whole dartboard thing I did, if I represent a distribution visually, if I make the area of the whole thing 1, any question is just the area of the part related to the question. That's almost too beautiful. Just like, why is it so cool to get to the bullseye? Because it's such a small area, there's a very tiny chance that would happen randomly. That is evidence that you have skill. Okay. So, if I find the area of this, that would be the length times the width, right? So 0.3 times 1/6, bam. Okay. A lot. Okay. So there's one problem in the homework where I think it goes 5.8 to 6.8. And that one's a little bit weird because then that makes the height 1. Because 1 times 1 is 1. It's crazy. Okay, so it's just whatever I multiply this by to make it 1 total. Yeah. C says, is that what x equals 5?
Yes.
And of course that one is
0.
0, right? If you
Isn't
put,
that
We
iota?
don't have
if
to
you put iota, the little tier.
we don't have to explain it or anything, right? Just
No, yeah.
What if I put iota?
Like I said, if you put iota, I'll have a little tier for you.
Is there a
Okay.
point?
No extra points.
0.02 extra points?
I'll give you iotas working.
Oh, it's just the letters IOTA.
IOTA, yes.
Oh, I just put 0.
IO,
Huh? I put like 0 or we can't do it.
0, yeah. Alright, is everybody cool so far? If you don't like the iota thing, forget about it. The answer to a probability question is the area. There is no area for a line. 0 is good enough, right? Okay. D is the one about finding the mean. Yes. So again, this is the formula you don't have to write, you don't have to know it. A plus B, so 2 plus 8 divided by 2 is 5, and that makes sense because 5 is right in the middle, correct? Not according to my picture, but you bet. And then standard deviation is the one, yeah, let's just put shit in there. 8 minus 2 squared divided by 12, so you get 1.732. Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I know because it did it, but now I finally got square root of 3 memorized, which I'm a math geek, so that makes my day. Alright, so let's focus on E. Is this distribution that I'm working with up here normal?
Nope.
No, hell no. But what do I do in part E? Sample. How big of a sample?
43.
So what two things does that immediately mean that impacts us? The distribution becomes normal enough.
Enough if it's 31 or more, or over 30.
You read with me? So now I'm gonna, in part E, I have a normal distribution. It's not uniform anymore. Because I took a sample of size greater than 30, and I'm talking about the sample means.
So it becomes curvy. It was flat before, now it's curvy.
Exactly, just like the handout we did with the numbers in the hat. Started off as uniform, and then it became more normal, okay. What's the second thing? So first off, it's now approximately normal. So I can find z-scores and look them up and all that kind of shit to answer probability questions. It's unfortunately no longer rectangles, because now, like you said, it's curved. What's the second thing that happens, of course?
We have to modify the standard
Yes.
deviation
What's the new standard deviation? It's gonna be the old one,
divided by the square root of the sample size,
square root of 43, kick-ass.
which is approximately 0.2641. You want 4 decimal places or?
Yeah, that's fine. Sounds right. I think I got that far. Yes. Now let me, yes.
You said D and E are in the test, or just D?
D and E, because E builds off of D.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not gonna ask you on the test questions about the mean and standard deviation of a uniform curve. The reason I put this on the practice test is number one, because I'm a jackass. Like I said. No, because I want you to realize no matter where the hell the original standard deviation came from, in this case, it came from the uniform distribution because it's freaking uniform. No matter where the hell it came from, the minute I take samples and I'm talking about the sample means, I gotta change the standard deviation. It does not matter where the original came from. Are you guys, that's the point I'm trying to make with this problem, okay? So in all the homework you had to do in chapter 7, they just give you, they just tell you, here's the standard deviation, blah, and they have to divide it by the square root of whatever, correct? If you've done chapter 7 homework, you know what I'm talking about. So here you actually have to calculate it before you can divide it.
And so the concept of E will definitely be on the test. Like finding
Yes.
the
The concept of E, dividing by the square root of n. It's gonna be a big part of this test, yes, I like it. So now the question becomes, kind of the same as this, but what's important here is, now real quick, I can't do it here, it's too bad. I was gonna say something, that doesn't matter. This is X bar here, correct? Right, so remember, what were the two things I told you to look out for to know when to do this? When I take a sample and I ask a question about the probability of a sample mean, yes? If those two things happen, I take a sample and I ask a probability question about the sample mean, I must change the standard deviation.
For both of those, it's not greater than or equal, it's just greater.
Oh yeah, I couldn't remember. It actually wouldn't matter because this is continuous, but, okay. Let me stop for a minute. Maybe not a full minute, I can't do that. Okay. Oh man, you guys look so beat up, I'm sorry. Alright. So now, let go of this shit, because it's no longer this, correct? This is now its own problem. It is a uniform curve. Can you draw the picture? What goes in the middle?
Gonna be the
I'm
mean.
sorry, did I say uniform? It's normal curve.
Yeah.
What goes in the middle?
It's gonna be the mean.
The mean, which is 5. And I'm interested in 4.4 and 4.7. Become a 4.7. So what do I have to do with 4.4 and 4.7?
Find their z-scores.
Do it. Yeah, it should be over here. else need a copy of the practice test? Okay, is that everyone? I guess we can finish this problem. All right, let's see, what are you guys getting here? 4.4 minus the mean divided by the spread. Is it like 2.4 or something? Negative 0.6, wait. 0.6, yeah. Is it negative 2 point something?
-2.27.
Okay. And I make z-score out of 4.7. So it's gonna be like 1.1 something. Negative. What is it? 1.14? Okay, I'm trusting you guys. Crowdsourcing. Y'all rounded correctly, I'm assuming?
Yeah, that's right.
Remember, when you do it, don't just chop, you gotta round it, okay? So now if I look up negative 1.14, that will be too much, and then I just subtract off what I get when I look up 2.27
Oh,
negative.
I didn't get that z-score.
Oh.
Sorry. I got negative 1.36.
Oh, that sounds too much, let me see. I'm pretty sure that's not right.
0.0869.
So negative 0.3 divided by 0.264, 1.14, yeah. Right, 4.7 minus 5 divided by 0.264. All right, how's everybody doing? You guys are like, stats is oppressive enough, what's up with the heat? I'm sorry, it's too bad. And then, if I look up, what do I get when you look up, what do you get when you look up negative 1.14? Anybody? For the area? 1271? Yeah. Okay. Nobody is saying anything else. What about negative 227? Who's got that? Let me look up negative 2.27.
I got that one right. So yeah,
Huh? 0.116?
I got 0.0116.
0.116?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, that sounds good. And then, of course, to get the answer, I just subtract, because this is too much area. If I subtract this off, I'll be left with what's in the middle. So you'll get 0.1155? I think.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you. I was gonna say the crowd goes, eh? Okay. Okay,
Yep, 0.1155.
What did you guys say for the answer?
so again,
What was the final answer that you got?
1155. Did you get 1271?
Yeah, I think about 1154.
So again,
1154. What did you subtract? You subtracted
1271 minus 0116. Yeah. That does sound familiar. Okay. Okay. All right. I just appreciate that you're here. You know, you're like, oh my god. Okay. Anything? No, it's wide open.
Mimi,
Sure.
can we go over one where it's like the middle, blah, blah, blah? You know how
Sure,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like there's gonna be percentage on both sides?
All right. Let me move up here. I think. For one thing, it's cooler over here for some reason. other stuff here. Oh, okay. Sharon. Figure this out real quick. Nick is not here. Nanami. Here. Christopher Valdez, I think. Okay. Yeah, damn it. Didn't bring anything. Oh, well, I'll stay up on the board. You got the paper.
You want some white paper? Some white paper?
No, it's okay. It's okay. I prefer the board anyway. So we got this. Okay.
What? Oh, yeah.
Oh no, purple. Purple. Purple's a problem. Yeah, like. Give me a moment. Stay. All right. Of course, this needs help. Yay.
Sure.
Bless you. All right. So which one, I'm sorry? Is there a
No, I want a
question?
new problem.
Hmm?
I'd like a new problem.
With the middle piece?
With like the.
Oh, the middle thing, okay.
Like you have percentage on both sides,
Oh yeah, find,
not just in between.
no, what do you mean, find the z-scores bounding the middle something?
Like the 92
No.
percentile?
No? Alright, I don't know.
Because I know how to like, for one of the problems yesterday was like the male 90%, so you had percentages on both sides, but you can't just subtract those two.
Well, that's what I was about to do, find
Oh,
the
you were?
z-scores bounding the middle,
Is
yes?
that what you were going to do?
Find the z-scores bounding the middle something, yes?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're good.
Oh, you have the mean, draw a number line with two parentheses.
No.
Okay.
No?
So if I wanna find the z-scores bounding the middle 88%, let's say.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you. And this is in a standard, normal distribution. Sand. So the middle 88%, can you guys take a moment and draw that real quick? It's a good chunk of it, correct? It's 88 freaking percent of it, so don't draw it like, you gotta, oh. So there's 88% in there. If you look up 0.88 in the z-score chart, will it have anything to do with this problem?
No.
If you look up 0.88, you will find the z-score that's got 0.88 below it, which is not this problem, correct? So I have two z-scores I want to find. Since it's the middle 88%, whatever one of them is, the other one is...
Actually, 0.88 was one of them, and you gotta find the other one, which will be
It's
No,
the
no,
same,
no.
just positive.
0.06.
Yeah, if this was -2, this would be +2, correct? It's the symmetric, okay. So if I can find this z-score, I'm effectively done. How do I find a z-score? The only way to use the chart to find a z-score is if I know the area that is where.
It's closest to 0.88.
Nope, 0.88 has nothing to do with finding the z-score. Not directly. The chart only understands areas that are where?
Below.
Below. So what area is below this z-score?
Oh,
What area is outside?
6%, oh, 12.
12% outside,
Half of it is 6.
6% on that side, correct? Okay. So either about 88% of the people are in the house, just 12% of people outside the house, so 6% on that side of the house. All right. That's not a z-score, that's an area. Don't say anything. Take a minute and see if you can find the z-score. Gotta bring a big old fan in here or something, good lord. next day it's 10 degrees colder again. It's crazy.
Yeah, Friday was supposed to be raining too.
Yeah, yes, you got it?
I just wanna double check it, is it the 0.0594, is that closest?
Okay, so we have a 0.0594, and what's on the other side? So 0.594, and what's the next thing?
For,
Point oh six oh six.
Ah,
You take the middle of those.
so you can give me the middle. So what z-score does this relate to? If you look out, what z-score does that one relate to? If you look out on the z-score chart, what z-score does this relate to?
Negative 1.5.
So let me make sure everybody understands what I'm saying. Sounds like a generally good thing for me to do. This is part of the reason why I wanted to be up here. Let's see.
If we gave you one or the other, would that be wrong?
Let me explain. Too much, let me stop. So I could do a little bit on you. All right. So some students have trouble understanding why I'm looking where I'm looking on the z-score chart to find this. Oh, poor little dude. You're all drunk. Oh, the most exciting part of class. Okay. Focus. I hate technology. Okay. So I'm trying to find 0.06, correct? So I gotta go to the negative side. And I know that's true because from my picture, I know I'm on the negative side for that z-score, correct? The one that I picked. I could have picked either one. Is everybody with me? Okay. So the closest I can get, I get to 0594. Oh, I'm sorry, I had it on the wrong side. 0606, right? Since that's not one of these official little asterisk dudes, I would let you do either one of these. So you could either do, so again, what z-score does 0.0606 relate to? Negative 1.55. Or you could use negative 1.56. Or even better, you could use negative 1.555. Right? What's right in the middle of 155 and 156? 1555.
This is the same as problem 3, basically, right? We're just doing a different version of it.
I can't remember. Sorry.
Yeah, problem 3 is find the z-scores bound in the middle, 91%.
Yes, beautiful. I love it. So, if I give you one of these, then I want the exact answer, right? But if that happens kind of naturally, it's up to you. I'm not gonna, you can pick either one of them because they're both equally distant, or you can average the two out. It's up to you. Does everybody, now listen, I think all of you, if I said, what's the area below a z-score of negative 1.38? Everybody could do that. Is this true? And you're all, everybody should really be right now like, yeah, give me a lot of that. Every problem that, please, yes. So that has to be an easy ass question because it's exactly what the formula, the chart tells you. This problem is just backwards. All right, I know the area and I want to know. So instead of looking at a z-score and looking in, I find the area and I look out. Big deal. It's just the other way around. You guys with me? So the problem gave me an area. So I got to look at it here, right? What really sucks is 0.06 looks like a z-score. Can you look up 0.06 like a z-score? Of course you could. Will people do that? Yes. Will I still take points off? Yes. Because I'm a jackass. But I understand that mistake. Because 0.06 looks like a freaking z-score. I could look up 0.06. You have to remind yourself that's not a z-score. That's an area. It's got to be in the middle. Are you guys understanding? Okay. That's why I try to make a really big point of we put areas up here, we put z-scores down there, so I know exactly what it is I'm working with. Okay. So what do we get? Let's say, what did you guys want to use? 5.5?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So then what would this be?
Positive.
Positive 155. So what two z-scores bound about 80% of the data in a normal distribution? Negative 155 to 1.55.
So but if you want probability, then, or no, if you want like, what was it for the 90% that you did? Because then we actually have to find.
Yeah, if I want 90%, so real quick, if I want 90%, what's on either side? What's on here? 0.05. If you look at 0.05, you'll get here. This is the one I want 1.645 for sure, because it's got the little asterisk too, you can follow them. Why is it 1.645? Because this would be 1.64, and this would be 1.65. So 1.645 just splits the difference. It's just right in the middle, right? Is that all right? It happens one other place. Now, it happens more places, but these two, for some reason we'll learn later, are important. So we make a big deal out of them. The other numbers in that. All right.
We just subtract the percentiles from that to get the answer, right?
No, they don't subtract anything. So didn't we just get 1.645? Negative, and so this would be positive 1.645. So how far out in a normal distribution would I go to capture the middle 90%? I would go out 1.645 steps in both directions. That would capture 90%. So if I put the average height of men here, and I go 1.645 standard deviations up, 1.645 standard deviations down, that's 90% of all American men are in there.
So then that's just our answer.
See again?
That's just our answer.
Yeah, so it's the question says find the two z-scores that bound the middle whatever. There's my two z-scores. I'm done. Yeah. All right, I like it. And of course, for this problem, it was these two. So you can just circle these bad boys and move on with your life.
Whenever you ask a question that's what two z-scores bound, it's always going to be the negative and the positive. Always.
Yes. Yeah.
They'll never
Well, I'm always going to say bound the middle.
Mhm.
It would be really mean for me because it's impossible because it could be a ton of answers that have. If I just say give me two z-scores that have 30% below, it could be a lot of different places have 30% between them.
Yeah.
But if I say bound the middle, okay, that you can do. That's got a definitive answer. Yeah.
So what? Did you want all that on the video?
Oh, yeah, that would have been better.
You do it again?
No. That's gonna be my thumbnail. All right. Okay. So, just to remind you guys, I know we've only had one practice test day and one review day. It's wide open. I have brought, well, I've gone through everything I brought. So, it's really up to questions as to what we cover. So if you guys, if nobody's asking anything, floor is entirely yours. You can ask whatever the hell, maybe related to practice test 2 would be better.
Yeah, can you pass
Or the
this
test 2. So it could be homework, could be quizzes, could be whatever.
Can you pass this out?
The answer key? Yeah, let me give it to you so you guys will, let me look, let's see. I did part of number 4, but we did the rest of it up here.
I was gonna ask if this was right, because I've done 2 problems so far. On problem 5, where we are so far out in z-scores to where it becomes 0.0001
Yeah.
or 0.999%.
Alright, hold on, we'll talk about that.
He's out here quoting 21 Jump Street, like, yeah, AP chemistry, blow shit up.
So,
They're both good, they're great.
what's up? I have this one question I wanna talk about real quick.
I'll take, I like, the change it.
Guys, can you look real quick on the z-score chart? Tell me real quick. If I have a z-score of negative 3.41, what area is below it? Negative 3.41.
0.0003.
Is everybody with me? What about 3.42, negative 3.42?
Same thing.
Same thing, okay.
They're all the same until you get.
Yeah. And that kind of makes sense because there's so little out here. This really is probably over here. There's so little out here. If I take one little step, I haven't really lost much area. There's still, because it's so small, it's already so tiny already. But what about if I have a z-score of, I don't know, negative 4.98? Can you find that on the chart? Try to. Negative 4.98.
No, you can't.
You can't. And the chart says something that I find very funny. The chart says anything negative 3.5 or lower is what?
0.0001.
Do you understand that's not true? If I go negative 15, there's like 0.0000000 something. You guys kind of with me? So anytime I am off the chart, you can either say what the chart says. So you could say 0.0001 and I will accept it because I gave you the damn chart and that's what the chart says. So it'll be kind of mean if I'm like, don't do that with the thing I gave you. Technically, you should say about 0%. What if I said that it's greater than this? You could either say 0.9999 or you could say about 100%. Is everybody with me? So if it's off the chart, it's either 0%, approximately 0, or approximately 100. Or you can do what the chart says and say 0.0001 or 0.9999. You guys with me? You guys really with me at all?
Yes.
So it changes a lot in the middle because there's a lot of area in the middle. Once I'm out here and I start moving, it's not going to change by very much. But if I get way the shit out here, there ain't nothing below that. Are you kidding me? What percentage of people are less than 2 foot tall? Adults. Let me be careful. What percentage of adults are less than 2 foot tall? What's your guess?
There's like one.
Yeah, so about what percent of all adults in the world? About 0%, yes, okay, because that's off the frickin' chart, yes? Are you guys kind of with me?
Yeah.
So you say approximately 0%, this is not 0, but it's so damn close. I don't know if you guys are with me or not, so, okay. So that was number, that happened on number 5A3. I just laugh when my tests sound like a legal document.
Paragraph 5, subsection A, subsection 3.
So I put about 0% and I put or 0.0001, either one. You guys with me?
We didn't finish C.
Which one?
2C, we finished it.
2C? Oh, I didn't, yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. So let's look at 2C real quick. I was doing this in I made this answer key before. Actually, it's up in Canvas too. There's a photo I took of an old answer key that I have no idea where that went to. And so I was trying to make a new one real quick. So obviously I didn't quite finish this one. So I looked up the area below 1.98 and I put that there. So now all I have to do is look at the area below 0.14. Can somebody look that up for me?
0.557.
Oh yeah, that's we did that earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
0.5557. Is that right?
Yep.
And then I just gotta subtract those. So I get 0.4,
2.
1, no, 2, 1,
2.
no, 0, 4. I'll get there someday.
Wait, what do you do in your head?
What do you mean?
You do cool
I don't know. I do shit, man. I look ahead to see if I'm gonna have to borrow, so then I can take the number down. Right? So 6 minus 5 is 0, but 1 minus 7 I need to borrow, so I take the number down to 0. It doesn't matter. You guys have calculators. So I do math all the time. So, dear God, I'm motivated to find shortcuts, right? You guys don't do as much math as I do. If you did, that would be nifty. But if you did, you'd get a lot of shortcuts because you'd want to, yeah. Yes?
Can you go over 1D? That was a long time ago.
Look at a blank. 1D, oh yeah, okay, so real quick. Building off of what we did in 1C, so you should get the mean is 4.253, and the standard deviation is 4.249. By the way, this is a really good example. Somebody was asking me earlier about the standard deviation being bigger than the mean. This is close, huh? The standard deviation is almost as big as the mean. Yes, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And it's a little bit of a cheat though, because do you see how some of the data is negative? I can make data that has a crazy huge freaking standard deviation and a mean of 0, easy. Just by having a bunch of negatives and a bunch of positives, right? So I sort of look at that as a cheat, but you know. What percentage is within one standard deviation? Well, I can't answer that question until I figure out what this is. So how do I figure out within one standard deviation of the mean?
Go down up to
In the middle, I put the,
4.25.
yeah, put the mean in the middle, I go up one standard deviation, I go down one standard deviation.
Okay, did
So
that.
that's basically what it did here, right?
Okay, did that.
So if I subtract a standard deviation and I add a standard deviation, which data points did I catch? I didn't catch the negative ones, did I? Because that's below. I caught the 3s and I caught the 6s, but I didn't catch the 11s, yes? So I caught all the 3s, well that's 35.2%, and I caught all the 6s, and that's 19.4%, so when I add those together, you guys with me? So that's literally, in my head, and I don't like fish, I don't like seafood, but I always think of me casting a net out. What did I catch? I caught all the 3s, I caught all the 6s, the 11s got away, the negative 1s got away, damn it. So I got all the 3s, that's 35.2% of the data already, plus I caught the 6s, which is 19.4%. So of course I taught 54.6 total percent.
But didn't you kind of get 0.2512 because it's greater than 0.004?
2512.
Then the negative, the first one.
No, okay. Where is negative 1 on this number line? Is it inside here?
Oh, you're looking at X.
Isn't negative 1 going to be below 0?
Yeah.
So I didn't catch it.
Okay.
My net didn't catch it. It's not within one step of the mean, it's outside. It's the same idea as what's unusual, correct? Except unusual, I have to go how many steps away? 2 steps away. Kick ass. I like the way some of you guys kind of do this.
So it's just as long as you caught it like within your net.
Yes. Then you add that percentage in.
Okay.
So if I would have caught the 11s also, I
Then
would
you
have
would have
added
added the
the
11s.
percentage of the 11s.
Oh, yeah.
If I catch every 3, I caught 35.2% of the data. I also caught every 6, so I add those together.
Okay.
Yep. I got a song stuck in my head. so. I saw a really good fan-made follow-up thing. I was thinking about sending you. I think you'd get a kick out of it.
Yeah, well, if it's like a video or something.
Yeah.
They're doing Project London.
Oh yeah,
And then
they've been working on that forever.
And then I heard about Project, the northern one where you go to, it's like another one where you,
Anchorage.
it's not a DLC like Anchorage, it's a fan-made one that involves like a northern.
Okay.
It's a Vegas one.
I like
I
it.
haven't played total game honestly.
I understand. All right, guys.
I'm gonna tackle the rest of this and I'll ask you questions.
Yeah, yeah.
Use your time.
Anything else we want to focus on? Any other things from homework, from the quiz, from the practice test?
Regarding homework, definitely gonna have chapter 3 done by Monday, but all the other chapters would be helpful, right, so it's not ready.
Yeah. You really should have chapter 3 done already, but it's not due until Monday.
And then I should be finished, but if I don't have time, like, the 4, 5, and 7, those aren't till the, or not till, 5, 6, and 7, those are till the next test.
4, 5, 6, 7 are due this Monday. Yeah. Yes.
They're all doing something. Okay,
Yes.
Cool.
Question from the homework.
Yeah.
Chapter 5. 775.
Chapter 5, number
77.
77?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, okay. So they give us a train arrives every minutes, so it goes from 0 to 8. Part I says 60% of commuters wait more than how long? Okay, so if I were to draw, can you guys, every 8 minutes, so I have to wait anywhere between, I get there right when it gets there and just walk right on, is that 0 minute wait? All the way up to 8, I get there and like, damn it, it just left, so I gotta wait 8 minutes, correct? So it's a uniform distribution between 0 and 8. Draw that real quick for me. If you haven't already done this wrong. You already did this wrong. I did it, Jeff. All right.
X is gonna be the number of minutes you have to wait for the train.
Yes. So how tall is it?
It's gonna be 1/8.
1/8. So this part I says 60% wait more than how long?
We need to find 60%.
Real quick, what's the mean? I know it doesn't ask you for it, but tell me. Well, it
4.
does actually
It's
for
gonna be
party. What's the mean?
4, right?
4, right in the middle. That cuts the bar in half. So where would I put a line to indicate the data point, the minutes that would mean 60% more than that?
To the right.
Just past.
4.6.
So I want 60% to have to wait more than a certain length of time. So if I put it up here, that's not 60%. I gotta put it down here. So now I'm just trying to figure out what is that, right? Do you guys see that?
Why is it not to the right of the thing?
Because it says 60% of commuters wait more than how long? So however the long that the time interval is, I want 60% to be above that.
Okay.
Yes. Is everybody with me so far? You're all like, great. How do I get the answer?
It's 3.2 is the.
Well, we'll get there, So how much is this? 0.4. Right. So if I want 100% of the way, that would get me to 8, correct? If I went 50% of the way, that would get me to 4. I want to go 40% of the way. 40% of what? 8. So if I do 40% of 8, I get 3.2. So 60% of people would wait more than 3.2 minutes.
It's just an alternate way of asking a percentile.
Yeah, so 60% above means the 40th percentile. So really, if you understand the percentile questions with these uniform curves, one step and you convert this to a percentile question. What's the 40th percentile wait time? Is really another way to say this, yeah. If I say top 5%, that's another way to say 95th percentile, right? Okay.
That question kind of tripped me up because I thought it was they wanted what's above 60%.
No, the 60% is the area above something.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out what that something is. I know it's gotta be less than 4, because 4 cuts it in half. Yes?
Sorry, for the answer key, is that a -1 or?
Let's see.
For the chart?
Oh, no.
Is that a -1 or?
Damn it. Did I put a 1 in there? Alright, let's redo that. which calculator I used.
Oh, for which, question?
I think I put a positive one instead of a negative one. Alright, I don't know where my calculator is. Okay, pretty sure looking at this, because that should be negative 0.251. So I think I just put a positive one instead. So let's do this one together.
It's negative, yeah.
Yeah.
It's negative 0.251.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, but I put 0.251, which makes me worried. Did you guys get the same numbers I got?
Yeah, like everything's correct,
Oh.
you just missed the
I
negative.
just left it
from the
negative.
0.251.
Okay, so it's not as bad as I thought.
That's why I didn't catch it on everything.
Yes? So real quick, let me make sure everybody understands. I was concerned because I thought when I did the problem, I didn't put a negative one in the calculator. But I just forgot to put a negative sign on this, apparently. Because you guys got this?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that the question you had?
Yeah.
Okay,
Confused.
so that's that's it.
Good catch.
Thankfully, not as big of a mistake as I thought it was, but it's still averaging about a 97 on my answer keys.
The answer to 2C.
Yes. Oh, yeah, we just did this a minute ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So everybody got that 2C? I just didn't feel like finishing it for some reason. Oh, yeah. By the way, when you're a teacher, you have access to something called test banks. So you can pull up the software, you can tell it to what kind of test you want to make, and it put up all these problems at the test bank. It just creates all these problems, and then it'll make an answer key for you. And they're gross. They're the worst. They're the worst questions. There's so many errors. I'm like, if there's an error, I want to own it. I don't want, wasn't me. It was the program I used. I want to make my own damn programs. Okay. For some reason, I put. No, okay. I only put one. Okay. Thought I put two of these. These kind of problems. So there's the idea of unusual, like we talked about earlier. I should say min-max usual values, otherwise it gets a little bit weird. So on the actual test, I'll say, find the min-max usual values. So unusual starts, of course, like I said earlier, 2 steps away. And this one, I kind of shortcut it because I really didn't have enough room, but this problem I did the probability of 22. So pretty cool with this problem here. Less than 22 would suck, yes? Less than 22 would be 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, oh my god. So instead, I did 1 minus at least 22, right? The opposite. 22 I already did. 23, you do the whole formula. 24, you do the whole formula. Is it pretty cool? You guys see that? So that's a perfect example of when to do 1 minus. It's when the opposite situation has less work. And if you don't draw the picture, you won't necessarily lose points, but if you make a mistake, you will lose more points. Because I have less to go on. So it's up to you. Feeling lucky. The more work you show me, the more chance I have to give partial credit.
I appreciate that, because there've been a couple of times when I did everything right, and then I just looked up the wrong score on the z-score chart, or fat fingered the calculator. Got a
Trust me.
completely wrong answer.
I've had plenty of teachers where they grade it binary, it's either right or wrong. And you do this long ass problem, it takes 3 pages, and the very last step, they left the negative off.
Yeah.
It's wrong, too bad. I'm like, what the sense? That makes no sense.
Or you had like a dyslexia moment, or like,
Yeah. We're all human, we've all done 2 times 3 is 5, which is neat. I'm pretty sure you don't believe that, so if I saw that, I'm like, well, that was obviously a thing for it, not a big deal, I'm not gonna. Minus 80.
be the teacher. Minus 80 for gross incompetence.
Alright. Besides hot, how are you feeling about this test? Are you feeling confident?
Very good. I have a question.
Yes.
So told us before you left for well, Monday, you told us which problems would be central limit. What I'm wondering, because I looked at your answer key and I was like, why? But then I did it and it works, but I'm still wondering why. So, number 5, part B, is not a central limit theorem
Oh, yeah, okay, good.
but it still
Thank you.
says 120
Thank you,
houses
thank you.
are
Okay.
selected.
Perfect.
Why that isn't the sample, I don't fully understand.
This is the question I always wait for. What 2 things have to happen to tell you to change the standard deviation to sigma divided by square root of n?
Maybe add a sample.
I have to take a sample and I have to ask a question about the sample mean, yes? The probability of sample mean.
I'll be honest with you, if you hadn't told us that this was a central limit, it doesn't really say sample mean, so I just.
No,
Well, has
yes
X-
it does.
has X bar in it,
Yeah.
I guess. 'Cause that's-
So part D, number 1, that's talking about a sample mean, correct? So in part D, did I take a sample?
Yeah, it could be select 30.
Am I asking a probability question about sample means?
Yeah.
Yes. So part D, I definitely changed the derivation. Now, real quick, guys. Here's an example of a question I like to ask. What does this mean?
That's a probability, or an area.
Of what?
Everything underneath this is where you found it.
No,
To the left of it.
The
Come on,
probability
make
that
it
X is greater
completely real world. What does that mean?
Oh, 27.43%.
That X is
of-
greater than 302.
27 so you can either say probability, but a slightly better way to say this is 27.43% of households generate more than 302 pounds of trash.
We have to say that?
If I ask that question, that is one way to answer it. You could also answer it as, there's a 27.43% chance that a random household will generate more than 302 pounds of trash. Are you with me?
Like I have.
Or some other, you don't have to say exactly those words.
I can't just circle it?
No, I don't understand. You can't answer a conceptual question by circling something, no. You have to explain it to me, right? Okay, so what I would ask you is, in the real world, what the hell does this number mean? Yes? And now I'm almost certain I'm gonna put this on there, okay? So, if I know, guys, if I know that 27.43% of all households make more than 302 pounds of trash, and I pick 120 houses, what percentage of them are gonna make more than 302? 27.43% of them.
And you can apply that to any number of houses now that you know a percentage.
Yeah, whatever the number of houses I give you, that's the percentage of them that will do that. Maybe. So I love, alright, of course I would. I love part B because it looks like I took a sample, but I did not. I didn't really take a sample. If I took 120 houses, how many would you expect? Expected value, right? How many would expect to generate? Well, that would be n times p. That's the probability that they do it, and that's the number, n times p. That's another way to look at it, right? Oh, you guys like that one? Yes?
Can you do C for that one?
Wait, that's mean, the NP.
Yeah, the expected value.
Oh, the average.
I'm sorry, part C?
Yeah.
Okay. Just realizing this is over here now. Poor little camera dude. Alright.
Yeah, that one wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
I was thinking about my phone. My phone is like, why did a math teacher have to buy me? Damn it. Okay. So part C. Oh, this is like I was saying earlier, top 5%. So I need to find the z-score. This is going to be this idea, which I appreciate that at least some of you enjoy, because I like this, but I'm always curious how many people actually like this. So I've given you a percentage. What percentage is below this? 95. That's how I got 1.645.
Oh,
So I left that off in the picture, sorry. So they gave me a percentage, I have to go backwards to look up a z-score, and then I have to change that into a raw score using this backwards formula. Right, this is the formula mu plus z sigma, right? Feel it, AC. Okay. Sorry, it just came up.
Love teases.
So if I know an amount of trash, I can convert that to a z-score, correct?
Yep.
If I know A z-score, I can convert that back to an amount of trash. So this is just the z-score formula solved for x. That's all this is, right? The x equals mu plus z sigma. Math goes both ways, right? Be jealous. But so if I can convert x to z, I can convert z to x.
That one's on the formula sheet, but I used to do it that way. I could also do, z equals, and then.
Sure, yeah, and then solve for x if you want
Yeah,
to.
sure, I've solved for x.
But the mu plus z sigma is algebraically already solved, so I don't have to do it every damn time.
Your stuff is
Already,
already-
I've done it once. Yeah. Yes.
You said this is on the Canvas?
Yeah, I just put the answer key
Where do
up
you
in
find
Canvas, huh?
Where do you find that? Where?
In the modules.
Oh, in modules.
Yeah, I forget which module. It's probably the one that says good things to have. I
It's a good point. You mentioned.
Don't like
Canvas, and
Canvas, I'm sorry.
He's using Canvas? What?
yes.
No way.
I don't know how much your other teachers use Canvas.
A lot. My online course is entirely
I
reliant on
appreciate,
Canvas.
I appreciate, well, online courses, sure. During the pandemic, I used the hell out of Canvas, because I had to, holy shit.
Depends on the teacher.
But like,
my-
you don't even put grades in Canvas, like, other teachers, like, they use Canvas to, like, submit assignments, put grades in there, that's why we're all like, what are we?
Never again.
It's actually like
Like,
we
it's the
practice
first
two
time.
answers.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing in the world, guys.
Yeah, like,
Grade,
where I don't have
grade
to
stuff
like,
somebody's bank, submit
It's
it.
like, am I passing or am I failing?
You have to use, you all,
I thought you were gonna pass out our grades today.
No, it's after this next test.
after the next
You
test.
don't find out till the semester's almost over. What was my grade?
Guys, you can always come see me in my office or here. I've got the spreadsheet of grades on my little thumb drive, right? I'm an old-fashioned kind of guy. You wanna know something, you come talk to me. If you don't wanna, if you don't wanna come, what's up?
Uh-oh.
I'm scared to ask for it at this point, we're already halfway through.
No, now that you mention that, I'm not gonna be in your office.
I did give you information about
Yes.
your grade to some degree, didn't I? I thought I wrote that on one of the tests, yes.
Possibly, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
What?
At the top of the last test, I put what your current grade is and what it would become if you made
Really?
correct
You
test. I so did.
Oh, I think I threw it away.
I don't know which test means what. You do your testimony.
So any damn time, you could email me and say, hey, dude, could you tell me my current
Can you tell
grade
me my current grade?
and what it would be if I had all the homework? And I'll say, sure.
Can you give me my current grade?
Right now? Yeah.
She's like, yeah, out loud. In normal
I mean,
class.
Here, I'll put it up on it over at
Oh, you see keyword, you said test but not quiz. I'm looking at my quizzes. There's like no.
What's that?
No
Oh,
quiz.
when's the last test? Oh, I still have that.
Got it.
It's at home somewhere.
I don't know if I want to ask you. I'll just wait till you give me this next test.
Yeah. That's up to you.
Oh, man.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I passing?
Maybe.
Are you gonna pass this test?
Maybe.
You know what? That's the one shirt he's missing because he has like the paranormal
Oh my gosh,
distribution
you
shirt.
need one.
He needs a shirt that says.
Am I gonna take this class next
Yes,
year?
you do.
Next
I
semester?
was scratching my head hard, I was like, I
And
don't
you
know.
need one that says physical sense, makes physical sense.
Oh, does he say that?
He says
I
that's
told you
so
about
much.
those shirt I have. It's got Gandalf standing on the x-axis. It's got the asymptote. It says, "You shall not pass." What? I didn't tell you about
That makes no sense.
that. You shall not
I
pass.
don't get the
Asymptote. You can't go across an asymptote.
Oh, it's a
Yes.
vertical limit. Is it?
Yes.
That's why.
Asymptote is a wall saying the
This
function
is
can't go there.
stats class.
Can you wear that?
That's a calc reference.
I know. I know it's not a calc reference. It's an algebra.
What?
But I don't want to wear that shirt because some students would take that personally. So
What?
you shall not
Yeah, like you
pass.
shall not pass like,
Oh.
I don't know, like a.
They're gonna.
Actually,
So what's my grade?
It's not theoretical. That happened. I wore the shirt once and
What's my
somebody's
grade?
like, "Is that for me?" You gotta ask probably.
What's my grade?
You gotta call here. I'm not gonna just tell you.
Well, you
Shit.
didn't tell me.
That's personal.
She said, say it out loud.
Yeah.
Well, you can
Yep.
tell the class what you got.
All right, guys. If you don't have any other questions, you can head out. I'm sorry. Are you Sarah or Sarah? Sarah?
You gonna go up there? Are you still up there?
I've got you right there.
You're not.
Now, of course, whatever you make on this next step is gonna take the place of the quiz.
It's just gonna,
You gonna ask?
Yes.
I realize well,
And
but
if
it's
you
just
make
gonna
something
plummet
great,
after the next test, it doesn't matter.
No, don't say that about yourself.
That makes
You know
sense.
what's going on.
Suddenly everyone is like,
Yes.
alright, we can't find out today.
I submitted a quiz here. Go ahead, sir.
I can live in,
With the direction.
ignorance.
Yes.
Without the next test. Wait.
I always die happy. Depending on how you feel, that might not be the worst idea. You're like, I don't wanna even know to like not
Now you
stress
have a
me
whole
out.
line of people who just want to made it.
Right before Monday, you wanna do this out?
I'm sure it will be.
Cello, did you, already finish?
We have the answer.
No, no, we're just gonna knock it out.
You knew he was here?
Why?
Oh, what?
I gotta do all the homeworks, man. I'm missing 3 chapters. So I gotta do that all this weekend.
I've got 2.
Alright, so,
And I'm gonna be in Arizona for a wedding.
what's up?
Hey, Phoenix. Or Boston.
One more
Tolleson.
piece of it
Where?
we made.
Tolleson is
Okay.
right north of Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
Barbara?
We'll say, cause I've been to Phoenix
So I
twice.
think she's sitting right
A lot. Never been to Flagstaff. Phoenix is pretty hot though. I hear if you go north Arizona, it's better.
Right now,
Phoenix?
the weather is fine.
It's not terrible, but the season's ending. Man. I was not.
It's heating up.
Actually, I told you I was in Ocotillo and then we.
Yes. What's up?
And the weather was good. But it's getting to a place. Yeah.
Mr. Wong is gonna record all the people.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Well, we had everything up there.
Bye.
You know how to do it?